Good afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated now. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will continue now our meeting of the Foreign Affairs Committee. I would like to welcome all colleagues here present in the room and also all colleagues who are connected remotely in front of their video and computer screens across our continent. Before I welcome our guest speakers, let me first make an important internal announcement for this committee. Since the 16th of September, that means just a few days, we have a new head of unit in the Secretariat who's taking care of this Foreign Affairs Committee. I would like to officially welcome in his new position, Mr. Adolfo Barbera del Rosal. If you could just stand up for a moment, a warm welcome. So, Mr. Barbera del Rosal will be sitting up front next to me. He has worked for many years in the European Parliament. The last 10 years he worked in the Econ Committee as head of the Secretariat and later in the Policy Department. And he was seconded to Michel Barnier's team for the withdrawal agreement negotiations with the UK government. So looking forward to a good cooperation and pleased also with all the political representatives in this Parliament. Now, colleagues, we start this afternoon's session with a discussion on the situation in Belarus. It is a topic that remains at the top of our agenda. This part of the meeting is being held in an extended format, jointly with the Subcommittee on Human Rights and in association with the delegation to the Euronest Parliamentary Assembly and the delegation for relations with Belarus. I would like to welcome you all, both here in Brussels and in front of your screens, especially Maria Arena as chairwoman of DROIT, Andreas Kubilius for our Euronest colleagues, and Robert Biedron, who chairs the Belarus delegation. Let me also welcome the large number of interested people following us on the web stream for this meeting. I hope that we also have viewers in Belarus. Please note that for this discussion, we do have interpretation in Russian language. During the plenary session last week, the European Parliament held a debate on Belarus with the Vice President of the Commission and the High Representative, Josep Borrell. We also adopted a resolution on the situation in Belarus. The situation in Belarus, for us as the European Parliament, is very clear. We reject the results of the so-called presidential elections that took place in Belarus on the 9th of August. As they were conducted in flagrant violation of all internationally recognized standards. We will not recognize Mr. Lukashenko as president of Belarus once his current term of office expires. The European Parliament condemns, in the strongest possible terms, the Belarusian authorities for their violent repression of peaceful protests for justice, freedom, and democracy in the wake of the fraudulent presidential elections. Mass arrests once again took place this weekend, brutally targeting the participants of the women's marches on Saturday, yesterday's March of Justice in Minsk, and other demonstrations across the country. The violence must be stopped immediately. All persons detained for political reasons must be released immediately and unconditionally, and all charges against them must be dropped. We strongly support sanctions of the EU against individuals responsible for the falsification of election results and the repression in Belarus, including Mr. Lukashenko. We support the calls by the Belarusian people for the organization of new, free and fair elections to take place as soon as possible under international supervision led by the OSCE, ODIHR, and in accordance with internationally recognized standards. Mass protests are taking place in Belarus because the people reject the official elections results as blatantly falsified. They regard Sviatlana Tsikhanouskaya as the true winner of the presidential election. Her candidacy was the catalyst that woke up and united the nation. Her personal courage and sacrifice continues to be an inspiration for many, both in Belarus and abroad. She continues to be the voice expressing the demands of the majority of the Belarusians who voted for her and who continue to defy the authorities trying to silence them. Ms. Tsikhanouskaya, it is a great honor to welcome you to our meeting today. This is your second appearance before this committee. Already on the 25th of August, you joined us by a video link from Vilnius and made a statement during an extraordinary meeting of AFET, which was devoted to the situation in your country. I'm grateful that you accepted our invitation and agreed to attend our meeting in person. What Belarus needs now is a peaceful and democratic transition of power as a result of an inclusive national dialogue. We welcome the Coordination Council, which was initiated by Ms. Tsikhanouskaya to act as a temporary institutional partner in this dialogue process. It represents the people who are demanding democratic change, and it is open to all political and social stakeholders. However, the Lukashenko authorities responded to the creation of the Coordination Council with persecution and intimidation. Out of 7 members at its presidium, only the 2015 Nobel Prize in Literature laureate Sviatlana Tsikhanouskaya remains free and in Belarus. Serious concerns regarding her safety persist despite the exceptional support she has received from European diplomats. 4 members, Lilia Ulasafa, Maxim Znak, Zache Dielowski and Maria Kolesnikova, have been arrested. We demand that they are released immediately. I'm very pleased to welcome to our meeting the remaining 2 members of the Presidium of the Coordination Council. There's Volha Kavalkova, who is with us also this afternoon. A warm welcome to you too. And connected remotely, I understand, from Warsaw is Pavel Latushka. Due to threats and harassment by the authorities, Ms. Kavalkova and Mr. Latushka were also forced to leave Belarus but are continuing their activities from Poland. Ms. Kavalkova is with us today, and Mr. Latushka is, as I mentioned, joining us per video link. That's all from my side. We today have the unique opportunity to hear the views of key members of the opposition who are continuing their struggle for democratic change in Belarus. I would therefore like to give the floor first to you, Ms. Tsikhanouskaya, for 10 minutes, then the floor to Volha Kavalkova for 10 minutes, then the floor to Pavel Latushka for 10 minutes, and then we will have a round with representatives of the political groups and further colleagues, and at the end, Maria Arena for Droit will conclude our meeting. Ms. Tsikhanouskaya, the floor is yours.